Hello all, greetings from XERXEZ IT Training and Projects. In our last session, in last video, we have seen how to design the model for heart disease prediction system. By using the same model, we are going to deploy using DJANGO, a system. Okay, first before heading towards this session, let's try to have the revision. So this is the last code what I was discussing in my previous video. So as far as this the model is concerned, I have designed this model using random forest algorithm or random forest classifier. So I got around 66% of accuracy. So what I have done, so I have converted that into a model using pickle file. Okay, so it is in the WB format. Now using the same model, okay, I'm going to deploy using DJANGO a system. So to install to configure first DJANGO system, what you need to do is open as usual the Anaconda navigator. So in Anaconda, you just try to open the console. So first and foremost, just try to choose the location. Since I'm going to use my desktop, so let's try to hover over to desktop. First type desktop, cd desktop. So right now I'm in desktop. So here in the desktop, I'm going to create one simple file to upload or to have all the DJANGO files. So to create the project in DJANGO, run the command like DJANGO admin. Next is start project, and give the name of the project. Let's see, since it is related to heart disease, so I'm going to create the folder with the name, or I'm going to create the DJANGO project with the name of heart. Okay, enter it. So it will configure all the files which are required to configure the files or the models which are required to deploy in the machine. So it has created. Now let's try to check, okay, whether the project folder has created on my desktop or not. So let me minimize all the things. Now you can see here there is a folder called heart. Inside this heart folder, we have all the files which are required to deploy the DJANGO, deploy the project. As far as this folder is concerned, it has created one copy with the same name called heart. Inside this we have the files like setting for the initial configuration, and we have the URLs, okay, to create the new URLs. The main file of this project is manage, where the actual execution takes place here. Along with this one, what I will do, I'll try to create one app inside the folder called C heart. So next, hover over to your the location called the heart. Okay, inside the heart, create one application. So my all the files which are related to my project I'm going to save inside the app. Okay, so to create the app, again you run the command like django admin. Next, start app. So in the first stage of what I have done, I have created the project using the command called start project. In this, I'm going to use start apps to create the application. So the next is I'll try to give the name here. Okay, the name, let us imagine that the name of my app be first app. Enter it. So it is going to create one more folder, okay, called in the name of first app, and all my files related to my project I can store inside the first app. Similarly, there is no restriction, we can create n number of the apps inside the project. Now you can see in the previous I had heart folder. Now it has created one more folder called first app, just like our the heart folder, we had the configuration file. In this case also we are going to have some more configuration file related to database and the view system. So models are used to create the forms, okay, and those forms further can be connected with the database system. Now almost my whatever the files which are required, or the environment which are required to deploy the models are ready now. So now next what I will do, I'll try to hover over towards Spider. Already I have opened my Spider notebook. So here let's try to call all the complete project files inside the Spider, and let's try to configure after that. So if you want to go to the exact location, click on the browser button here. So it will ask for us to give the specific path where your project files are located. I'll go to desktop. Inside the desktop I have the heart. Click on heart. So I have two files here, first app as well as the heart file. So select the folder. So it will configure, Jupyter Notebook will configure, okay, related with respect to your the project file. Now next, if you want to see the files, click on files, system. So now you can see I have two folders here called first app and the heart. Next is, after that it's time to configure okay, our machine. Okay, it's time to configure all our files. So what I will do, since I have created the app called first app, we need to call that first app inside our main settings.py file. So click on settings.py file. So you'll get the file structure like this, where almost all the configurations are available. As per, you can configure the setting file as per your requirement. So inside the installed app, you need to call that the app what you have created. So here just give the name of the app, which is nothing but first app. Okay, always remember end your the statement with the semicolon here. So next is save the file. So now in this project, since first app is there, so I can call all the files which are I'm going to modify inside the first app inside my the folder called the heart here. Now next, it's time to create the HTML file. Okay, let's try to create the HTML file. After that, we'll try to run our server and to check whether my configuration, whatever I have configured, okay, it's working properly or not. To do that one, so what I will do, again I'll open my URL. So go to URL you can find inside the heart the folder. So go to hover over towards URL. So here, okay, inside we need to import some libraries here. We need to call our first app, we need to call the URLs also here. Okay, uh, as far as URLs are concerned, we need the library like from Django dot conf dot next we are going to have URLs. Under URLs I'm going to import the class called URL. So next is, uh, after that we need to call our the application what we have created. So to call the application, again I'm going to use from statement from first app. Make sure that the whatever how you are calling the name of the first app, in similar way you call here while importing in url.py file. I'm going to import views. Okay, so I'm going to import the views. So in views, whatever the configuration are required to pass the data, okay, from the users to the model, again after processing, again I have to display on the front end of the HTML. That can be done using under views.py file. Now let's try to create one the URL, the default URL. Okay, so suppose, let's say the moment when you are deploying this one in operational level, so the user will try to visit your site. So the moment when they visit, okay, they try to upload the data. So there are many sources of visiting the file. By default, what I will do, I'll try to create one the default link. However the users are visiting, they should land up with the same page. So what I will do, I'll call URL. Under the URL, I'll have the default page, and default page can be created using this symbol tilde and the underscore, or sorry, the dollars. Next is views dot index. Okay, so I'm going to create my one index file. Okay, so inside my views. Okay, so now next is, I'll try to give the name for this index file. Let's say the name for this index file is home page. Okay, so home page I will call here. So next is done. One link I have created one link here in the name of index.html, or and the path of that one is views. It's fall under the views dot the index. Now let me try to save this. So after successful saving this one, next what I have to do is I have to create the file called index here. So to do that one, again I'll go to views you can see under the first app. Okay, so first app, click on views. Okay, here already we have rendered statement. So generally what it does, render statement will try to fetch the entire HTML page. Okay, and so instead of fetching the methods which are in the HTML page, or the small part of the HTML page, suppose if you want to fetch the entire HTML page, we can use the render statement. So next is it's time to define the method here, definition. So already I have given the name be index. So index, next is in index we'll try to have a request. I'm going to use request method here, request. Next is after creating the request method, so we need to return the page. Okay, so to return the page I'll use return render. Okay, so render method I'm using. So next is under render request. Okay, so I'm going to use again the request method, request, then request the index.html page. Okay, HTML page. So always remember this, you call within the single quote index.html. Now next is what I will do, I'll try just for the simplicity. Suppose let's say I want to pass some parameters here, so I'll try to use context technique. Okay, the context, I'll try to use the dictionary method where we are going to have one key and the respective values. So let's try to have an index with the name, let's say a. Next, okay, the value of that one is a is nothing but the key here, and the value is 1 here. I'll try to pass 1 here. So this is it. Next is, once after successful completion of this, it's time to create the template file, sorry, the HTML file. So okay, to maintain all my HTML file, so what I will do, I'll try to create one simple template file folder inside the project. Always remember, your template folder should come in the path where you are having the manage.py file. So right click manually, I'll try to create the template file here and rename this one with the name with called template. Okay, so already I have done this one. So now again you go to Jupyter Notebook. So inside the Jupyter Notebook you can see, okay, the one new folder got created in the name of template, but inside this template there is nothing here. Understood? I have not created any the pages here. Okay, so now it's time to create the pages. To create the pages, I'll go to the template file. Inside the template file, I'll try to create one file. Just right click here. So the moment when you right click, you will get the option like new. So inside the new, either you can create the folder or you can create the file. So I'll try to create the file in the name of index.html because I have called index.html. Okay, so HTML. So next is save this. Okay, save this. So right now I'm in the index.html file here. Okay, let me hover over, let me come back to my original position where all the files are located. So this is the location. Now next is, let's try to run some simple HTML code just to check whether my server works or not. So what I will do, I'll try to copy the standard HTML general syntax, okay, from the w3schools.com, or if you are familiar with if you are good in HTML, okay, so you will understand the general syntax of the HTML, the tags. So here, so this is the general syntax of the HTML where I have HTML tags. Next, inside that one I have a head. Inside the head I have the page title, nothing but the name of the page. Next we have inside the body, I'm going to call one header h1 and paragraph p1. So just let me try to copy this. Next is, after copying this, just go to your Spider notebook. Now next is, after Spider notebook, save. Okay, so I'll try to copy this one. I'll try to change the page title of the page with the hard disks. Okay, so hard disks. Now next is, here what I will do, I don't want paragraph, so I'll try to use only h1 tag. Okay, nothing but the heading tag. Okay, just to display to check whether my server is working fine or not. Now next is, this is okay, this file is to predict hard disks. Okay, hard disks. Okay, so hard disks. So let me try to save this. Now next what you need to do is, since already I have created one template folder, So we need to call that template folder inside my settings. So settings should know the moment when you are compiling. Okay, so it will searches for all the files, okay, which are there in the first tab as well as the heart folder. So inside this one we need to call, even I will tell the Django server to check in the template folder also for HTML tag. So to do this one, there is an option here called directory dir. Hold on. So directory dir, you can see somewhere here, yeah, here directory dirs. So inside this one you call your template file, okay, template, and give the same name how you have given in the while creating the folder. Save this. Okay, so now almost my basic configuration is over. Now let's see whether my server is able to execute my index.html file or the not. To do that one, again what I will do, I'll try to go to my anaconda command prompt. Inside this, run the command like python manage, okay, which is nothing but my main file. Next, run the command like run server, shift and okay, enter it. So it will call an API. Okay, so it tried to execute your server. Now let's see, okay, whether my server works fine or not. It takes time. Hold on, since the computer might okay, so it's checking now. So let's see whether my server works or not. Yeah, works fine. So this works fine now. So server is work up and running now. Now if you want to check from the back the front end, so what you can do is go to any web browser. So since I'm using the Google Chrome, so go to Google Chrome, go to URL and type localhost hyphen 8000. Okay, run this. So the moment when you run, okay, so it will display the default Django server file. So yes, it's perfect. Now see, you can see this file is to predict the hard disk. That means my index file is working fine here. So what I will do, inside this index file, I'm going to create the form, okay, to get the parameters, okay, from the users. Once the parameters, after fetching the parameters from the user, so what I will do, the same parameter I will pass it to my model. So model will classify and it gives an result, okay. And there are two options, either you can display the result using the same index file, or you can create the file HTML file, okay, to predict the result here. So what I will do, just for the simplicity, I'll try to create one more the file HTML file in the name of index.html. To create that one, again you go to template. Since inside the template already I have one file called index.html, so inside this again I'm going to create one more file called result.html. Okay, right click here. So here you will get two options again, file or folder. So I'm going to create one more the file in the name of result.html. Created, save this. Next, again it will be hover, you will be hover towards result.html. again I want to come to the my original position here, same position where my all the records are available. Okay, so just I'll try to create the same the general syntax here, okay, of the HTML. Again I'll paste it over here. So now next let me try to modify this one, the predicted result, which is nothing but the title of the page. So the predicted result, the predicted result, the predicted result is, okay, so that means, okay, so a predicted result, that means whatever the result you are going to get here, so I'm going to display after is a statement. Now again I'll try to save this one. Now next, once the result.html file is ready, so again we need to call this one inside the URL as well as the views. So same thing I'm going to do here now. Same thing I'm going to the perform here. We need to call again we need to modify inside my views and inside my views as well as the URL the folder here. So to do that, again I'll go to my URLs. I'll go to, let me hover towards your URLs. Inside the URLs, again you call the one more new URL called URL result. Okay, so I'll try to have result here, result. Next is, once the result is ready, result page. Next is views dot this result page. I'm going to call this one inside views again, result. Okay, so result is nothing but the method, like how we have created index. In the same way I'm going to create one result here. Let me try to give the name for this result. Let's say the result page name be the result here. Okay, so far so good. So next is, it's time to save this, but before saving, it's showing some error message here, like code analysis. It's still executing. Hold on, let me save this. uh, let me save. There is something wrong here. Okay, so let me try to run this. Let's see what is that the mistake I have committed. So it's working fine, there is no issue here. Maybe because of my system, it's taking time to analyze this result dot html page. Now no, obviously I have not called this one in the views, so we need to call this one in the views. Okay, so URL. So let me try to call this one in the views again. I'll go to views. Right now I'm inside the views now, so I'll try to create one more view. So let me try to copy the same thing again. I'll try to paste this one. Okay, so paste this one. So next is, again I need to call here, just replace this index with the result now. Okay, so result. Inside the result, now I don't want this context.html. okay, context page. So I'm concerned about the result now. So here you call the name be result.html. okay, so in the same name I think I have called in my template.html file. Again save this. So after saving, so let's try to go to URL. okay, it's hope this will work fine. If not, means views dot result, views dot result, views dot result name equal to result here. Okay, anyways, let's try to run this one. So the moment when you run, okay, so let's say, let me refresh, let me check whether my server is working fine or not. There is a syntax error here called URL. So it's not fetching URL. What is the problem here? URL, it's not fetching URL, it's not fetching URL. Hold on. Yes, here I committed one mistake. I did not give the semicolon here. That's the reason it was not working fine. Now you can see there is no error at all. Okay, so let's try to save this URL. Now next, let me try to run my server. So as far as server is concerned, okay, it has shown me like syntax. It's reloading now. Okay, so we need to wait for the servers to reload this. So to reload this, let me again try to run the server. Yeah, have a look on this. So that means my server is working fine now. Okay, so there is no issue as far as server is concerned. Okay, so now next is, let's try to run this one on my front end now. So let me try to refresh again. Let's see, right now I'm in index.html file. So index.html file I have, inside the index.html file I have predict. This file is to predict. Now next is, if you want to check whether my result file works or not, just give slash and type result here. Okay, so the moment when you run this slash with the slash result, it should display the another, it should migrate to the another page. Let's see whether it is possible to migrate to the another page. Have a look on this. The predicted result is, that means it's showing my, yeah, my system is service working fine now, so that it's showing my the predicted result is, right now I'm in the result.html file here. Okay, so far so good. So next is, it's time to fetch get all the data. Okay, so get all the data. So what I will do, I will have, again we'll go to html.html file. Okay, so inside the html file, so I'm going to call all the 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 parameters which are required, okay, to pass to my the model here. Okay, so to do that one, Let's go to our HTML file. Again, I'll go to my spider notebook. So you can see my HTML file is here. So now let's try to modify this. The file is to predict the hard disk is well and fine. So inside this, I'll try to create one form to fetch to get the data from the users. Okay. So to get the data from user, I'll use form and action. So right now I'll keep the action as it is. Okay. Later on I'll try to modify my action here. Next is, once it is done, next we need to call CRSF tag. Okay, so CSRF tag, okay, will avoid from malware detection, or suppose someone is trying to um, uh, hack your system. So by default Django gives an the protection, okay, from the malware attacks, or let's say Trojan attacks, okay, using CRSF tag. So I'll call CSRF underscore token, okay, underscore token. This is it. It's very simple, okay, to work with the Django. So that means the moment when you add this one, it will take care of by itself, okay, and it will protect our system with the unauthorized access or unauthorized the data. Next is the most important part of this one is okay, to feed or fetch the data. So to feed the data, so what I will do, again I'll go to my Jupyter notebook. So inside the Jupyter notebook we have the parameters here, okay, nothing but my X data. Okay, so I have to copy in the same way like how we copied how we have used in while designing the model. Okay, so here I have all the parameters here. This may take little time, so please bear with me. First I have age, so let me copy age, copy the age, go to your spider. Next here inside the spider, paste it over here, age. Okay, so I need the age parameter. Now to get that one, there is a tag called input. Okay, use input. Type should be text format. Okay, so text format I will use. I want this data, okay, so compulsory mandatory, so I'll use required. Okay, so that means user has to provide this information. So next is, I'll give the name here for this one, name equals to age. Okay, name equals to age. Next is close this one. It's very simple. Okay, so that means it itself will try to create one form, and it will ask the user to, okay, furnish all the data which are required, okay, before passing to the model. Next I will use break tag. Okay, so break tag to go to the next line. Similarly, just to uh, have the other tags, let me copy the same thing, and consequently I'll try to modify this one as per our requirements of the model. So next is, again you go to your Jupyter notebook, we have sex here, so copy this sex. Next go to your HTML page, paste it over here, again the paste the same here also. Okay, so in the same way we need to do it for again CP and uh, blood pressure. So let me copy. First we need CP. Next here also you give CP. Okay, so in the same way again we need blood pressure, give blood pressure. Okay, and give the name of that one be the blood pressure. Next we have cholesterol. Next we have ECG. So let me copy ECG, cholesterol. First you try to modify with the cholesterol, CHOL. Okay, here also it should be CHOL, CHOL, CHOL. Next we have ECG. In ECG, okay, same, copy the same thing, ECG, same way here also. After that we have the other parameter called talach, so copy this talach. Next paste it over here. Next again paste it over here. The same way we have to do it for all the parameters which are available inside my Jupyter notebook. Okay, so because I have created the model using all those parameters, so it's mandatory to pass all this parameter before classifying the data using random forest classifier. So next is we need old pic. So obviously I'm going to have old pic now. So old pic. Next is similarly give the name, same name you try to give here also, old pic. Next is slope, we have THAL we have. Okay, so slope, take the slope. Next paste it over here, slope. Next here also paste it over here, called slope. Next is we have THAL. Okay, so in the same way here also you give the THAL. Now next, after that successfully we was able to feed all the parameters which are required for my uh, the model. Next we need one simple submit button. Okay, so I'll create one submit button using the name, type should be submit here. Okay, submit. Next the name should be value should be submit. Okay, to display the name of the submit button on the button, submit. Okay, submit. Next end this. Next, after the successful completion of the tags, end the form also. Okay, end the form. Next, save this one. Let's try to run the server again. Let's see whether my server works fine or not. It got executed. I have saved now. Again you go to hard disks. Right now I'm in the main server. Paste. Okay, run the server again. Perfect. Now you can see the forms here. Okay, I have all the parameters like age, sex, CP, okay, blood pressure, cholesterol, all this there. And even I have the submit button here. Now next is what? The moment when you hit on submit button, it should be redirected. This you should be able to redirect from submit this html dot index.html file to the result.html file. So to do that one, so what I will do, under action, okay, so I'm going to call under action. Under action you call that result.html file. Okay, to call that result.html file, so what I will do, it's very simple in Django. Use the flower bracket. Okay, so percentage inside the percentage you call the URL. Okay, so URL is available where? Okay, inside my url.py file. Now next is call the result here. Result is nothing but the name of my result.html file here. So this is it, very simple. Action will, the moment when you hit on submit button, it will take you to the result.html file. Now let's try to check again whether my server works or fine or not. Yes, it's working fine so far, no issue here. So now next is, again let me refresh this again. So after that I'll try to give the values here. Okay, as far as values are concerned, let's say I give the value like age, let's say 63, sex is obviously 1, cholesterol CP is equal to, let's say 3 I'll give. Okay, it is in the range of 0 to 3. Next we have, okay, blood pressure, let's say 145 is the blood pressure. Cholesterol, let's say 233. Next we have ECG, let's say 123 we have, let's try to give 123. Next we have the large 150 I'll give. Okay, exchange, let's say EXG, let's say 0. Okay, old pic, let's say the old pic is, let's say 2.3. slope is, let's say slope is 0. Next THAL is, let's say 1. So okay, so right now this will not work, it will not predict, because I have to pass all this variable to my the model. Okay, but my main intention here is, the after passing all this value, the moment when you hit on submit button, it should take you to the result page. Let's see. Perfect. So that means my system is working fine now. So that means the moment when you give the values, okay, it will hover over toward your result page. You can see right now I'm in the result page now. Okay, so next is, it's time to call the model. Okay, so to call the model, again what I will do, I'll try to go to my Jupyter notebook where my actual model is present of the hard disks. So and I have saved that hard disks in the name of hard.sav. So manually I'll try to download this and I'll try to paste in my the project folder. Let me download this. Yes, it got downloaded. It is having around 587 KB of the data. Hold on, let this get download completely. Go to the folder, okay, the exact location where your the model file is located. Now my model got downloaded. Okay, I have downloaded manually. Now my model is in the download location. Okay, so let's try to cut this one, or you can copy also from the download location. Copy this, or let me try to cut this one. Okay, cut this. Now you go to the exact location of where your actual project file is located. Let me uh, try to minimize my Jupyter notebook. Let me try to minimize my Jupyter notebook. Right now I'm in the exact location. Okay, exact location of the project. Now always remember, there are two options here. Either by default you can keep your model also on manage.py, okay, exact location, or you can create one separate folder called models. Inside the folder you can also keep the model. So let me try to paste in the default location. So now right now my machine learning model is in my actual path now, hard.sav system. Okay, so hope you are cleared here. Now let's go to Jupyter notebook. Again we need to call this one. Okay, we need to call inside the view system. Okay, so next is let's try to call this one inside the view system. This is also little bit lengthy because we have to pass most of the parameters which are required, okay, to design this the model. So next is we need, let's try to go to views. Inside the views we need to import one more library called uh, joblib. Okay, so import joblib, because using the joblib I have created my model. Okay, joblib in views. Let's try to import this. Okay, so after that, after successful loading, okay, we need to call this model inside the result page. Okay, so actual the process will take place after getting the data. Actual process will take place inside my result.html. Inside the result, okay, .html, I'm going to use yeah I'm going to use my all the I'm going to use my model cls. I'll try to create one variable called the cls. Let's say joblib dot load. Okay, joblib dot load. Next is call your model name. Since I have saved the model name in the name of you can see here my model is in the name of hard disease. Right now I'm in the hard disease now. So right now I'm in hard disease. Now you can see the my model is in the name of where it is hard.sav. So call same thing here, hard.sav. Okay, so once it is ready, next is let me save this one. Okay, we had some I have committed some mistake, so it should be only joblib. Okay, so it should not be in views. So I have uploaded my data, so it's working fine now. So far no comments here. Next, in the same way, what I will do, next we need to call all the parameters. We need to pass all the parameters. To pass the parameters, I'll try to use the array statement here. List, I'll try to create one array. Okay, so next is, after this, let's try to append all the parameter list. Okay, list append, there is a method called append. Next is I'm going to use request method here, request dot get method. Okay, get. Next is first was, let's me try to go to index. The first was the age. Let me copy this age. The same way we need to do it all for all the other parameters also. Okay, copy. Next, inside this one, just try to paste it over here. Similarly, I have to do it for all the parameters. I need to call all the parameters here, okay, before passing that one to the model. Let me copy the same thing. Okay, fine. Next, again one by one you try to import all the parameters here. First, let's try to have name. Similarly, simultaneously I'll try to have CP also. Age. Next we have CP. Next, after CP, next we have yeah, blood pressure and cholesterol. And don't commit any mistake. The like how you are following the flow of passing the parameter, it should be same here in the view also. Okay, next is we have cholesterol, CHOL. Next, after cholesterol we have I have called yeah, ECG. Okay, so ECG, let's try to have ECG. ECG. Next, after ECG, next is after calling ECG, okay, call Talach, copy, paste it over here. Next, in the same way, we need to do it for next parameter, that is exchange. Copy and paste it over here. Paste it over here. Same way, we need to do it for other old peak and slope and TH here. Okay, slope. This is old peak. Next, we have slope. Okay, slope. I'll call slope also. Slope. Next, after slope, we have next TH here. TH here. Copy this and paste it over here. Okay, paste it over here. Done. Almost my model is ready now. Django file is ready. Now next is we need to pass this one to the model. Okay, to pass this one to the model, so what I will do, I'll try to use one more variable called ans. Okay, so ans cls. Next, after cls, there is a method called predict. Okay, so use predict. Next, call your file. Call the file. The name is lis. Okay, so far it's good. I did not get any error message here. Okay, inside the message here. Now next, see, have a look on this context I have given. I don't want any more this context because I'm not passing anything. Okay, inside the context now. Okay, context dictionary. Next is, once it is done, next we need to call this inside our render file. Okay, so already we have result here. Inside the result, again you try to have one more context dictionary. Call the context dictionary and ans. The key is ans here. ans. Next, the value of the ans is, again give the ans. This is it. Next is, it's time to call the same ans inside my result.html file. Okay, to call this one, again what I will do, again I'll go to result now. Right now, remember guys, don't get confused. I was in views now. Okay, so inside the views I have called the ans. Next, we need to call this ans inside the result page. Go to result page. Okay, so here it's very simple. So what you need to do is, the predicted result is, okay, you have the two brackets here, flower brackets, one bracket, inside that one you try to have another one, call ans. That's it, simple. So next is save this, and after saving this, let's see whether my system works or not. Okay, so it started reloading. Let's say it works or not. Have a look on this. My system is working fine now. Okay, so server is working fine. Let's see whether I'm able to execute the final result or not. Okay, to do that one, again I'll go to my main folder, which is nothing but here the heart. Okay, so let me refresh again. So again I'll try to pass the values. Okay, to pass the values, again I have to do the same thing. Age, let's say age be 63. You can give any range here, 1. Let's say CP, cholesterol is around 3. Okay, BP, okay, BP is 145, cholesterol again 233. Okay, rest tech, let's say is 0. Talach is around 150. Let's say exchange is, let's say 011. What we have. Old pick is, let's say 2.3. Slope is, let's say 0, okay, and THAL is around, let's say, 2. Let's try to submit this. Let's try to submit. Taking time. Let's say it works fine or not. So that means it started processing. It gives the all the value will be given to the model through the list, and it will classify. After classifying, again the result will be stored in ENS, and I'm calling that ENS inside my result.html. So whatever the result comes, that should be displayed. I should be able to display this one inside the result.html file. Let's see. Started working. Hoping for the best. Yes, guys. My system is bit slow because this system is heavily loaded. So now you can see, okay, it has predicted 0. That means the particular patient or the person is not suffering from the 0. Okay, so 0 indicates that the person is not suffering from the heart disease. Hope you are clear. In part 3 session, so what I will do, will try to store whatever the data we are uploading. Okay, so whatever the data we are uploading in index.html, this should be passed. I have to store this one in database system. So usually I use PostgreSQL database system to store the values in the database. Okay, so since if you check this, the records in part 1 session, I have used around 400 records, maybe lesser than 400 record, I guess. So we need more and more data, okay, to predict accurately. So what I will do, I'll try to store this one in the database. From the database, again I'll try to update that one to the model. Okay, again we'll try to have a better accuracy. That we will try to see in part 3 section. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel, support me. Okay, I'll come up with the new innovative ideas, okay, and I'll try to explain how to design the machine learning model and how to deploy those machine learning model using, okay, DJANGO systems, and how we can reuse already collected data from the end user. Hope you are clear. Thank you so much.